Hey everybody, welcome to the Radical Center. My name is Jonathan Lang and we are broadcasting as ever from the illustrious Radical Center studios in beautiful sunny downtown Austin, Texas. Now, today with Dan, my long-suffering producer, and I here in the studio, we thought we'd focus on a topic that's pretty hot right now, and that is the stock market. I mean, how many times have you heard that the stock market is really good for Americans?
Look, these are long-held beliefs of mine.
Here it
as
is.
You well know.
Here it is with 29,000. You did it. You did it. You did it. Oh, Larry, what a guy.
I believe in the incentive model. I believe in free enterprise. And the great honor for me, Stu Varney, is to work for a president who holds those views and has given me a chance to be a senior policymaker. That's the wonder of this story. That's the blessing. I'm glad the stock market's going up this morning. I'm not sure I have anything to do with that. But I am here to set straight. There are facts in this game. There are facts. And I'm just trying to cite facts about wages and retirement accounts and who is benefiting and how our new system that the president has reopened, rebuilt, restructured, deregulated, how that system is now working, and it's going to get stronger and stronger. That's my job, and that's the blessing for me to be able to participate in this.
Yeah, so there we have a typical example of why everybody thinks the stock market is good for the average American. I seem to recall we had a certain president who was always saying how grateful we should be for doing well with the stock market. I can't remember his name. Dan, can you play that for me, please?
Well, thank you very much, and I just want to congratulate everybody. The stock market, Dow Jones Industrial Average, just hit 30,000, which is the highest in history. We've never broken 30,000, and that's just despite everything that's taken place with the pandemic. I'm very thrilled with what's happened on the vaccine front. That's been absolutely incredible. It's nothing like that has ever happened medically, and I think people are acknowledging that, and it's having a big effect. But the stock market's just broken 30,000. Never been broken, that number. That's a sacred number, 30,000. Nobody thought they'd ever see it. That's the 9th time since the beginning of 2020, and it's the 48th time that we've broken records during the Trump administration.
Okay, so clearly I'm being a bit facetious. The question we really want to know is the stock market good for the average American and the average American family? Now, on the surface, I get it, right? If you don't own anything in the stock market, but your neighbor does and he's doing well, then he hopefully will go out and spend money and buy things that perhaps you make, right? I get it. That's great. But the question is, really, does the increased value of the stock market help everyday people? And you might be surprised by the answer. The answer is no. It doesn't help the average American. Let me give an example. 52% of Americans don't own anything in the stock market. And when I've had this discussion with right-wing friends, I'm like, that's rubbish, that's not true, how could that possibly be? That doesn't make any sense. I actually had one friend of mine when I went through it with him and I told him 52% of Americans don't own anything in the stock market, not even in a 401k, guys, nothing. Well, whose fault is that? Why aren't they doing it? It's not my fault they're not doing it, they should be doing it. He's a friend of mine, I didn't want to say, well, that's kind of an elitist response, isn't it? Maybe they want to put food on the table. I don't know. Pay gas for the car? I mean, pay rent? I mean, they don't have money left over to do these things which you yourself can do. Now, just to be clear on a personal level, most of my friends do believe I'm a communist, my friends on the right, and the friends on the left think I'm a Trump supporter, which tells me I'm doing my job as an independent. But what I've done, I sort of, with friends of mine like who said, well, people should invest, it's not my fault that they don't. I made an arbitrary decision at that time. I'm not going to get into an argument with them, but I've decided since then not to do that. If they say something to me that doesn't make any sense, I'm going to call them on it, because if they're friends, we should be able to have these discussions. Right? Something tells me it might not work out, but we're going to try, and I will let you know how this goes with my new philosophy. All right? But getting back to the stock market, if only 52% of them, if 52% of them don't own anything in the stock market, nothing, so they don't benefit even in a 401k or anything, that means essentially 48% of Americans do. And you might be going, well, see, that's great, Langley. That's what's the problem here. 48% of Americans own something in the stock market, and where they should be really happy that it's doing well. I'm sure they are. Okay? But Dan, put up the first graphic for me, please. All right. So I love this graphic because this shows the ownership of U.S. corporate stock from 1965 to 2019. And if you're listening to us on the interweb, I will describe it. So essentially today, though, this goes as far as, say, 2019, 40% of the stock market's value is owned by foreigners. That's right. We are helping overseas investors who don't contribute anything to help the GDP in the United States. So this is, believe it or not, a big chunk of this is, of course, from people from Asia, Japan, and, of course, China, and God forbid, the French and the British and others, right? But primarily, foreigners own 40% of the value of equities in the U.S. stock market as of 2019, much of which is owned by people from China, of course, Chinese governments and others, as well as, of course, people from other countries. The rest of it, the other 60%, is made up predominantly of IRAs, which, of course, would be Americans, retirement plans inside companies, some benefit plans, which, of course, is for your goes towards your retirement and others, and then taxable accounts. Now, that taxable account one, which is very interesting, back in 1965, 80% of the market was owned in taxable accounts. And back in 1965, close to only 5% of the market was owned by foreigners. So the next time Donald Trump says to you, or anybody says to you, the stock market's doing great, it's helping the average American, it's not. First off, 48% of Americans own something, 52% do not. Second of all, out of the part that's owned, the stock market, that 100%, 40% we're helping people from overseas. I wonder if there's any of those people coming across the border, Dan. What do you think? No, it can't be them. We wouldn't allow them in. No, we can allow other people in. Now, just to put it in perspective as well, who owns the vast majority? What is the average of the people that own anything in the stock market in the United States? Who owns anything? Put up the next graphic, Dan. Thank you. So the top, no surprise, the top 10th of net worth in the stock market is $1.7 million. 1.7. So like we've talked about before with income, no surprise, the top 10% own the most. 98,000 is the average for the sort of middle, so that's 50 to 90th, and the bottom 50th. Remember, these are people that own anything in the stock market. This is not income. Their average investment for the people in the bottom end of owning anything in the stock market is $11,000. So in other words, as you would expect, any real benefit in increase in the stock market value, not only does it go to people who don't even live in America, it goes to the people who were heavily invested in the market in the first place, which, of course, as you would expect, is people with higher incomes and higher net worth. So does the stock market help the average American? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Now, I have no magic answer to this. I don't know the answer if you want to say, well, we force people into a government retirement account of some kind of retirement account, which includes investments in stock markets like, say, your 401k does, those types of things, and mutual funds, whatever. There's no magic answer to this. And I don't think there needs to be. But the time someone says to you the stock market is good for the average American, it is 100% incorrect. All right? 100% incorrect. All right. That was it. Hey, we covered that in about 7 minutes. My name is Jonathan Langley. This is the Radical Center. You can write to me at the email below. Dan will put it up. Please like and subscribe. Remember, this show's called the Radical Center for a reason. We focus on the fact that most people in America identify as independent, and our voices have been ignored for far too long. All right. Thank you so much for watching or listening wherever you may be, and we'll be back very, very soon.